Alright. It is about 1:15 in the morning. So I'm probably gonna yawn. I said that. But I'm here to give you my review. Halloween Kills. Yes, I watched it on the Peacock at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. I was hoping I'd be able to watch it. I plan on putting it out. If you're watching this, most likely 8 a.m. Friday morning. If I wasn't able to watch it, I may have had to change my plans and watch it Saturday, but I got to watch it. So, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't usually do this. Sometimes I do for new movies, but I'm going to do it here. I'm going to split this up into two parts on this review, okay? So, I'm going to give you my spoiler-free thoughts. Kind of just my overall thoughts of the film, certain things I liked and didn't like, give you my rating, and then from then on, I'm going to go through the film and just, in like a regular review, spoil everything, alright? So, I will give you the spoiler warning when it's time, but just so for right now, you are safe. So, first and foremost, we had to wait 2 years for this movie. Alright, this was supposed to come out last year, right? Didn't come out because of certain things that were going on. And now, we got it. And they put it on Peacock and in theaters, which is good for me because I don't have a theater here. So, it was something. Let me tell you something. I wasn't even sure if I was able to watch it because earlier I thought I was going to be able to watch it, like this afternoon. I thought it was on there, but it was just a trailer. And then when I heard people say, oh, it's going to be on, whatever is, like it's midnight in the Pacific or whatever, and then Eastern, or midnight Eastern, Pacific is another time. So, okay, so be 11 o'clock Central Time if it's 12 a.m. Eastern. So, okay. So, I went to watch it, and it started right away. And I got the goosebumps. I got the goosebumps on me when it started, because I couldn't believe I was standing in my living room, because I had holding it. Okay, before I watch something, like a movie or something, I'll be standing up, whether it's remote or my Xbox controller, is what I watched on my Xbox, the Peacock app. And I was standing there, pushed the button, put it down on the couch. I just kind of stood there while it began. And I got the goosebumps, I tell you. It was, especially since this first scene, and I won't tell you, exactly what, but it was a flashback. A flashback that gave me all sorts of goosebumps. And if you're a fan of the franchise, this probably did the same thing for you. I'll say, for the most part, when it comes to calling back to older stuff in the franchise, I think they did a good enough job. Maybe not so much with bringing back they bring back some of the characters, that. Nurse Marion, Tommy, Lindsay, former Sheriff Brackett, they're all in this, so that's not a spoiler. Lonnie. And for some of them, they're utilized well enough. And then some, it's just like they brought them back for a certain reason, which I'll get to in the spoiler part. But I don't know. I think for the most part, I think it was okay. But it's kind of a mixed aspect for me because, especially for Tommy Doyle, like for some reason, when I think of Tommy Doyle, I picture Paul Rudd, and I don't know why. Because he wasn't in the first one. It was with Brian Andrews, I think was the actor's name. But they couldn't get him to come back. So you have Anthony Michael Hall from The Breakfast Club. And he does a good job. Don't get me wrong. He does a good job. He's probably one of the best things in this film. But, yeah. One thing I will say, though, is I like how it does it, just like Halloween 2. It picks up right after the events, and you get the flashback and then stuff, you know, and it's called Halloween Kills for a reason because there are a lot of kills in this. But I feel like that's another mixed aspect because there's a lot of kills, but there's not a lot of build up. You know, he's just going around killing people for no reason, and that's Michael Myers. It's supposed to be Michael Myers going around killing people for no reason, but the way they do it kind of got a little bit annoying to me because you'll have Michael Myers, because you gotta tell the story that Michael's out there killing people, but also you gotta tell the story with Laurie and the, you know, and her daughter and granddaughter. So you got Michael killing people, and you cut to the hospital. You do a little scene with them, and you go back to Michael killing people, and you go back to the hospital, and it gets a little too overdone. Especially there's a sequence where Michael hunts down these two gay men. One of them is played by Mad TV's Michael McDonald, which that was kind of funny because now he's been killed by both Michael Myers and the Leprechaun. So, you know, but that like when they introduce them, it takes a long while. We're stuck with these characters for a little while because they live in Michael Myers' house. I'll just say that. That's why he's there. Because you know he's going to his house, so I'll just tell you that. But we're stuck with them for a while, and it just seems like it takes too long before he kills them. And there's just some stuff in that scene that I didn't really care for. I'm just sitting there going, okay, what are we doing? Why are we with these characters? We know we're just going to get killed. Why are we focusing on them? And, like, you know, okay, so I know David Gordon Green, he's done comedy films before, and he got Dan McBride writing the film. So that's another mixed aspect for me, is I didn't mind the humor. You know, the peanut butter on my peanut stuff has become a meme at this point. So I kind of, you know, not enjoy it, but I've dealt with it. Here, there are certain things with the comedy that I don't know. They've added more comedy to it, and I don't think that was necessarily, you know, necessary, I guess. Also, there's another extended sequence at the hospital where this mob is chasing down someone they think is Michael Myers. We know it's not. Karen is trying to tell them that it's not. And we just have this extended scene to hunt them down, and it leads to something which I won't spoil, but I feel like maybe that sequence wasn't necessary. You know, like, there are scenes that take away from the plot. You know, the two gay guys scene, or that scene. Just kind of take away from the main plot. It just kind of makes me feel like, what are we doing here? This movie is an hour and 46 minutes, and it feels like combined, it's like, I don't know, 15 minutes you could have taken out and making it shorter. Or, I don't know. I don't know what the process is when writing scenes, but did they absolutely think that these two scenes were necessary? I mean, do we need an extended time with the gay couple? Can Michael just show up and kill them? I mean, it's his house, I guess. And do we need to see the mob chasing this guy down? Not necessarily, no. One thing I'll say, though, it doesn't, you know, another thing that's sort of a negative, mixed aspect is the final act. For me, after the final act from the first film, I think this was a little bit of a step down. Except for the final shot of the film, that one had me going, holy shit. And I won't spoil it here. But, like, I can't spoil anything, but it's just kind of underwhelming to me. Because, you know, what are you going to do? How are you going to end this? You're going to have Michael be presumed dead again? Or are you going to do something that shows people that Michael Myers cannot be stopped? And without going into too much, they do go for the latter. But I feel like it's sort of a little bit disappointing, in my opinion. But, you know. On a more positive note, I did kind of like the returning characters. It was cool to see former Sheriff Brackett, Tommy Doyle, you know, Lonnie, this movie kind of redeems Lonnie, because in the first film he was a bit of a little asshole and stuff. They kind of show that he is also human, And then one of the flashbacks, I'll just say that he was kind of getting picked on, and I was like, well, why are they doing this? He was the bully, right? But it shows you that even a bully has a bully, So yeah, I did kind of like that, and I will say I did like some of the returning characters. Like Cameron is in this, of course, and without going into too much, I think he gets his redemption, for what he did. But yeah, I don't want to go into too much more, but I enjoyed the film. Obviously, there was aspects that were a little bit disappointing for me, but I enjoyed it. And the score. That's one of the best things in this film. It's John Carpenter. It's Cody Carpenter. I'm sorry, sir, I forgot your name, the other guy. But it is fantastic. The score is one of the things, especially with the opening of this film, which I'll just say it. They set pumpkins on fire, and that was really cool to me. I'm like, the pumpkin is on fire. I was still standing at this point, by the way, because this whole opening flashback thing they do, I was standing the whole time. And then when that popped up, I'm like, standing there going, the pumpkins are on fire. That was pretty cool. And I did like the kills. The kills in this, there were some pretty good kills. There was one or two funny ones that were kind of a little bit of haha. But I did kind of like the kills. Except for, this is not a spoiler, but firemen die in this. And they do something with the camera where they show it through, it's supposed to be through a fireman's mask, and it's CG, and it doesn't look very good. And I felt like, then they do it a couple times. And I feel like they just didn't need to do that. Because, I don't know. It didn't work right with me, but, the kills were pretty good. And the score. And, yeah, it really made it feel like a Halloween film, I'll tell you that much. But, yeah, I'm going to go into spoilers, so I'll just say that when it comes to my rating, I would say that Halloween Kills is pretty good, in my opinion. So, okay, here you go. Here's your spoiler warning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This film starts with a flashback sequence. Actually, I lied. It starts with Cameron, still drunk, and walking home from somewhere, which means that they retconned what happened to him in the first one. If you don't know, there was supposedly a deleted scene where he got arrested, and that's why he wasn't, present for the rest of the film. But it turns out maybe that's not so, because they wouldn't just let him go, right? So he's walking home, and he happens to find the body, quote unquote, of one Officer Frank Hawkins, who's still alive. And I'll go ahead and say it right here. I don't even know if I mentioned this in my spoilers thing on my Scotty TV, but Jamie Lee Curtis, I follow her on Instagram. She posted a picture of her standing over Hawkins in the hospital, and he was alive, and she's holding his hand, and that's just, this was done a couple weeks ago, and it spoiled that he was alive, because I feel like I would have popped more if he's alive. The way they go about it is he comes up, Cameron comes up and he's like, oh my god, Officer Hawkins, are you okay? And he's like, and he goes, oh. I think most of us at that point would be like, he's dead, just leave him alone. And then, that would have been a cool reveal. But as it stands, it was kind of ruined by Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know if, she has obviously she's got to have a say, but it ruined it. That moment was ruined because she had to share the post. But, put that down. Yes, and then we transition to a flashback to 1978, and we see Hawkins, quote unquote, take down Michael. And I really love how this was done. You know, it starts off at the end of the film. Hawkins and his partner, they're, chasing Michael down. They find out that he went to his house because that's where he's going to go. He's going to do his killing spree and go home, as they say. And so, there's talk. Apparently, Hawkins' partner is the same age as Michael, so he's 21 or 23, depending on what credits you're reading. He's talking about, Michael, he was a good kid, but he would stare out his sister's window all the time, which, I don't know. But they go into the house, and I got goosebumps with this part, because he's up there, Michael, and first time you see Michael, it's the Michael from 1978. And they recreated the mask really good. Like, you could almost swear this was from that film. Especially with the way they shot it and everything. You could swear this was a deleted scene from the original John Carpenter Halloween, the way it was shot. But that's not why I got goosebumps, because they did this very well. So, first of all, Hawkins has Michael at gunpoint. Michael's holding the partner. And he's like, shoot him. And I'm like, you don't have a clear shot. And he does it because he shoots his partner in the neck. And Michael gets away, but you hear him. The evil isn't there. And I went, I know that voice. He's in there. And you see him. And they did a great job of recreating Loomis. It looks just like Donald Pleasance. You get to tell just a little bit does a CGI, but it looks real good. And then they even say, because they're talking, when the cops are talking, they're like, the Dr. Sam Loomis shot him quite a few times. And I'm like, I shot him 6 times. That's what I said. I shot him 6 times. 6 times! I should have gone back to that, but yeah, this whole flashback scene was great. We also get, like I said, with Lonnie, he's getting picked on by these kids, and he sees Michael, and he's outside Michael's house, and that's before the cops show up. I did kind of like that scene, because it makes Lonnie more human, because you're like, you're going to go into this thinking, Lonnie was an asshole to Tommy, why should we root for him? He's one of the good guys in this film, so they give you a reason, he's not that bad, Yeah, so then we transition to what we know, and, the 3 Strode women, we'll call them, they're on the back of the truck, they're driving away, the firemen come, the firemen get all killed by Michael. It's spectacular kills, except for the ones that are from the view of the fireman mask things. I didn't care for those, but it's a pretty good scene. And I hear people complaining, remove the kills. It's a movie, okay? People keep saying, petition to remove the fireman kills from Halloween Kills. It's a movie. They're not real fucking firemen, all right? Jesus, can we just watch a movie and enjoy it? Why do we have to pick it apart because you're offended by something? Just watch the fucking movie, all right? It's a movie. If you don't like it, don't watch it. You don't have to watch it. If you think you're going to be offended by something, don't fucking watch it. But don't get butthurt over something that's in a movie. So we transition to the hospital, right? Laurie's been taken in, and we notice that one of the security guards is our former sheriff, Lee Brackett. He's like, Laurie? Because he hears the name. And I don't think we ever get them on screen together. He and Karen share a scene here and there, but we then transition to a bar where we get our returning characters: Tommy Doyle, Marion Chambers, Lonnie Elam, and Lindsay Wallace. And also there's the two African American couple. One's a nurse, one's a doctor, and the one's dressed as a nurse, one's dressed as a doctor. They kind of flipped it around, I think. And I like how they said, like, she's the doctor and he's the nurse, but they're dressed, I think, like the opposite. And there was a speculation that they were Julian's parents, but they're not. They just lived down the street from him, so yeah. But they go to leave, and then this is where I kind of have the criticism, is that they think they see Michael in their car, but it's another one of the escaped convicts or escaped mental patients from the bus that got turned over in the last one. And this is the guy they're chasing through the hospital later that I felt like was unneeded. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying. We'll get to the scene and I'll explain it. But here it's just like the day, like, runs down on this guy. He gets away, but it's not Michael. We know it's not Michael. And they're in these scenes when they're at the hospital. Karen keeps saying, he's coming here. He's going to come here. They keep saying, he's going to come here. He's going to come after my mom. Like, Lori, he's coming for me. He's coming for me. He's going to come here. I'm like, no, he's not. I know they don't know that. But when Hawkins does show up there, he does tell her, no, he's not. He's not. Sartain was the one who brought Michael to you. He's not. And that's the point. He's out there just killing people, and they're all pretty good kills. And he goes to his childhood home where we have this gay couple, Michael McDowell and this other guy. They call each other Big John and Little John, which got annoying because they're going back and forth through the house when they realize someone's in there. Big John, Little John, Big John, Little John. I'm like, shut up. It's annoying. And they get killed. They do, of course. So Allison wants to be a part of this group because Cameron comes to see her. She wants nothing to do with him, of course, but then he explains what's going on. And so he wants her to come with to try to track down Michael. And this is the whole thing about the mob mentality. Everyone wants to kill Michael, to finish it off, to end it. And yeah, I get that. And it's to the point of that scene later. I'll just discuss it now. They chase down that mental patient guy thinking it's Michael, and it's not. But it's that desperation. That's why they do it. I say the scene's unneeded, but I get why they put it in there. Like, it's the desperation. They want to kill Michael so bad they won't listen to reason. People trying to tell them, look, Lori at some point, Karen and Brackett, they're trying to tell it's not him. They won't listen because all they want is to kill Michael. They want to finish it off. And I get that. They're trying to say that it's gone too far. And it even goes back to Lori, but she caused this. She panicked about it for 40 years, trying to warn people. No one listened, and now that it's happened, everyone has realized how right she was, and now they want to do something, but it's gone too far. And I get that. So Cameron, Lonnie, and I forgot something. Hold on. So earlier on, after I'm trying to track down Michael, you got Tommy. Tommy went to the hospital to see Lori, but you got Lindsay, Marion, and the doctor-nurse couple. And they get killed by Michael, except for Lindsay, who runs away. She gets away. But the nurse lady, not Marion, but the African-American nurse, doctor who's being a nurse in the, you know what I mean. She shoots herself in the face by accident. She kills herself by accident. That's kind of funny. Marion gets killed, of course, because you kind of knew that from the trailers. That was spoiled. But yeah, Marion dies, and both the doctor and nurse couple die. We see them wearing the Halloween 3 masks. And Tommy finds their bodies, and he finds Lindsay alive, takes her to the hospital. He's reunited with Laurie and tells her what's going on. They're gonna stop him. He organizes this mob, which, like I said, goes a bit too far. And meanwhile, Cameron, Lonnie, and what's her name? The granddaughter. I forgot her name. Not Karen. Andy Manichak's character. I can't remember her name. Laurie, Karen. Anyway, I got something to talk about first. One of the biggest, a complaint that people had about the first one is that, like, there wasn't any, like, you know, Ray, the dad, he gets killed, and no one seems to bat an eye at that. But here, Karen cries for her husband. She has a moment where she, like, shuts herself in a room and just cries. And then even Allison, that is, she comes to it. He killed my dad. I'm gonna kill him. He killed my dad. He attacked my grandmother. You know, they go to Michael's house because, as you know from the trailer, Lonnie's calculating that's where he's going. So they get there. The gay guys are already dead, of course. He's gonna kill them, and they get there, and that's another thing is there's an extended sequence with the two gay guys where they get pranked by these trick-or-treaters to steal their candy, and I'm like, why are we doing this? It takes you out of the film. I get maybe, you know, say, oh, there's so many kills in this, we want to take you out just a little bit, just have a little bit of humor, but this, you could take that out and just have them be killed right away, and it would have worked better. But it was earlier on. But they get in there, and you get the scene from the trailer where they attack. He attacks them. Lonnie is killed off screen, and then Cameron protects his girlfriend. He gets the redemption arc, and he gets killed through the banister. But, you know, and then you get the showdown between him and Allison, and you get that thing from the trailer, and everyone speculated that there was someone behind Michael ready to attack him. Like, maybe Karen's there, or someone's behind Michael ready to attack him, and they were right. They were right, because she's like, do it. And here comes fucking Karen with a pitchfork. I'll tell you what, I didn't like Judy Greer in the last one, but she got me back here, alright? I liked her in this. I didn't like her in the first one. I'm not a big Judy Greer fan. I don't think her acting's the best. But she brought her A game in this one. I'll tell you that much. Fortunately, not so much next time. Anyway, so, yeah. So, Laurie is in the hospital for the entire film. She doesn't leave the hospital. And, you know, you say, wait a minute, Scotty, in the trailer, we see her walking out with a knife, and she's wearing a jacket. She doesn't get far because she's been stabbed. Her stitches open up. That's when they start chasing down that mental patient, and she has to be escorted back to her room, which Hawkins also shares. And that's where he goes into the flashback and confesses to her that it's his fault that Michael is still alive, because Loomis was going to shoot him dead to rights right there. Although, who knows if that would have done anything, and he stopped them from killing him. God damn you, Hawkins. How dare you? I gotta shoot you too. Anyway, 6 times. Anyway, so, yeah. And not Laurie. So, yeah, they stab him, and then he's able to walk out of the house. You know, Karen takes his mask, lures him out, and he is surrounded by the Haddonfield people. Tommy and a bunch of that Brackett is there, and he's just surrounded, and they beat the crap out of him. And this is where I was like, no, how are you gonna explain this? They're beating the shit out of him, and even he gets like shot, and even Allison or Karen, one of them, stabs him right in the neck. And I'm like, how are you gonna explain this? And then we get the ending to this film, which was rocky for me, but the very end shot had me going, holy shit, what the fuck? Because, okay, so you have Laurie narrating, with every kill he transcends, and all that stuff that we got in the trailer, which is one of the last shots of this film, of her saying that. So it's really weird that they put that in the trailer, but, you know, trailers nowadays display everything anyway. She's giving her little speech. She's talking to Hawkins, actually, in a hospital. And we see Michael get up, and he gets back up, and he just starts killing people. Including Tommy. Rest in peace, Tommy Doyle. You know. And, just kills people. And then police and everyone show up at the Myers house. And Karen sees, she sees a vision of young Michael in his clown outfit for some reason. And she goes upstairs and she stares out the window. And surprise! Michael, how he got back in the house, I don't know. But he's standing behind her. And he fucking kills her. I mean, he... End credits. I sat there for a minute going, huh? Okay, so going into this film, there was speculation that, you know, people were saying if, Laurie should die, and if not Laurie, someone should die. One of the three main characters has to die because you have to elevate the final act. Laurie has to really be pissed off in the next film. If Laurie's not the one that dies, it's either going to be Laurie that dies and the other two are motivated, or one of the other two dies and Laurie is motivated, as well as one of the other ones left. So now that we know that Karen is dead, now Laurie's going to be out for blood. And the only thing I'm worried about is they've already said that there's going to be more Halloween films after this. So, is the ending of Halloween Ends going to be satisfying enough? You know, are we going to set up more films? Is it going to be satisfying enough for Laurie? Laurie has a line in this film where she says, to take him down, I might have to go down too, or something to that effect. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're both going to die, quote, quote. She's going to end up having to sacrifice herself to finish off Michael or something. And finish it off. I think if they do another Halloween movie after this, it should be like a different continuity type thing. Or some kind of setup where it's just Michael Myers is there. Because to continue from this story point, it wouldn't really make any sense. I haven't seen Halloween Ends, obviously, but it just, I don't know, it's called Halloween Ends, and if you follow up Halloween Ends with another sequel, why call it Halloween Ends, you know? And like I said, I thought it was pretty good. Just a few things that kind of irked me a bit. But is it better than Halloween 2018? Well, you're going to have to wait for my ranking of that. I'm going to do the ranking eventually. But I did enjoy this movie for the most part. I enjoyed the callbacks, the fucking flashbacks. Gave me the goosebumples. Let me tell you, Loomis. Even as it now. As soon as I heard that, because it was done very well. Whoever did the voice for him did it very well, and it works that they had it disconnected from the visual performance, because you only heard him talk in the distance or from outside the house. You didn't actually see him. So it kind of helps that it was disconnected, because I think maybe this, the lips movements would have made it a little bit uncanny valley, but it really worked. So I already gave you my rating twice. So there it is. Halloween Kills. It's finally here. It's come. Michael. And yeah. So if you've seen Halloween Kills yet, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.